Are we rolling? Uh-oh. Oh no, where do I look? Hello, my name's Karen. Hey guys, it's dandelion season. We have so many dandelions, it's not even funny. There's no need to worry about taking away food from the bees, at least on our property, because we can go out and we can pick every single flower and we have an entirely dandelion-free property for the day, and then we get up in the morning and they're back again. So we just picked enough for me to make one batch of dandelion salve, and that's what we're gonna do today. This is a little over a cup of dandelion blossoms, just the flowers. So what we do is we pick them, we bring them in. Every morning I come in or come downstairs and there's a little pile over here that my husband's picked for me. And I just go through and I pick them, just the flowers off. So I take the stems off and all that stuff. Any other little debris or whatever, I toss that. And then I just had these on a piece of, what is it called? Paper towel. Yes, paper towel. Just lined them all single file all over the paper towel, and I let them dry. You only need to really let them dry like maybe for a day, but these have been drying for 3 days, I think. And that's perfect. So what we're gonna do, I'm literally was in the middle of making dinner. I don't know if you can see my shrimp. Yes, you can see my shrimp over there. I started making shrimp tacos and I went, wait, I have to do this part first. Super, super simple. It just takes a couple hours and it's passive work. You're not doing anything. Ooh, I should have had somebody open this for me. There we go. You'll see what I mean here in a minute. So the first thing that we're gonna do, like I said, I was in the middle of cooking dinner and I went, wait, I need to do this. I need to get it on the stove. So we're just gonna take, oh, brand new. I should have, the power of editing, Karen. Okay, so I'm gonna melt 1.5 cups of coconut oil. You could use olive oil. You could use whatever you want, but I like the way coconut oil smells. So we're gonna do that. And I'm gonna get this, I'm gonna get this out of here, no problem. And then we're going to melt it, and then I'm gonna make sure I actually have enough in liquid form for 1.5 cups. So I'll be right back. I don't know if that's 1.5 cups. That's exactly why I melted it first, just to make sure we actually end up with 1.5 cups. So. No, we're 1/4 cup short. Okay, I think this is gonna be enough. Yes, it is, and I'm just gonna throw the rest in there because, like I said, I have a little over a cup of dandelion flowers. As far as drying your dandelion flowers, like I said, you just leave them on a paper towel, single file for at least like 24 hours. You just want some of that moisture to get out of there. Then when you're done, literally all you do is take your 1.5 cups of whatever oil you want to use. I mean, I think coconut's gonna go better with the floral aspect of these because these do have a really nice little delicate fragrance to them. Oh, that smells so good. So you put your oil in a pan and then you put your dandelions in the pan, give them a little stir. But now literally all I'm gonna do is put this on the stove on simmer for like 2 or 3 hours, and then we'll come back and finish it up. Just looks like a little pot of flowers. Okay, that's it. It's on the stove. So this couldn't be any easier. You probably have coconut oil or olive oil or something in your house, and you have dandelions if you have grass, maybe even if you don't. There's dandelions outside. The only other thing that you would need eventually is beeswax, which we're gonna do in the next step. And these are pretty inexpensive. This will last me like the rest of my salve making days. With that, I'm gonna clean this up. I'm going to let that simmer, just sit there and simmer for a couple of hours, and I'm gonna resume making my dinner, eat my dinner, clean up my dinner, and come back and finish the salve. Okay, so it's been just about 2 hours, and this doesn't look a whole lot different than when we started, but that's how it's supposed to be. So all there is to it at this point, you guys, is straining the flowers out and then adding some beeswax. I think this is gonna be hot enough where I don't have to put it back on the stove, but I do have a double boiler, or what will be a double boiler ready, just in case I do. So we're just gonna strain it. You could also use a cheesecloth, but I think the flowers are so big that you just don't need to do that. That's what I would do when I made Balm of Gilead. Remember that? That was like an era of my life. It was so much fun. I loved it. So now I'm just using this ladle kind of squish out any oil that's left in the flowers. And there's, yeah, so there's a few little teensy scraps of flour particles in there, but I don't really care. But if you want it to be particle free, then just do the cheesecloth. I'm going to show you. You just take a cheesecloth. These are real cheap. You can get them anywhere. But you put it over a bowl, put the stuff in there. And then once it's all in there, then you're going to take this and bunch it up. And hopefully it's cool by then, and squeeze out the oil. But the reason I don't like that so much is you do lose a lot of the oil in this cheesecloth. So I just am gonna do the ladle method. And we'll just put that back. So I got it all in there. And now I'm just gonna put in, I'm gonna go do a tablespoon at a time. The more beeswax you put in a salve, the stiffer it's gonna be. So if you want yours to be a little softer, you're gonna put in less. And if you want it to be a little harder, maybe it's, you know, you're in Arizona or Texas where it gets really, really hot in the summer and your salve might, you know, get a little too runny on you, then you would make it with more. So, yeah, I don't think it's gonna go anywhere if I just do that. I think we're gonna have to put it on the double boiler. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm actually gonna go ahead and put 2 tablespoons in here. And really, if you put in too much beeswax and it's like, that's too much, all you have to do is put it back on the stove, melt it back down, and then add a little more oil. And then you'll have it right where you want it to be. So it's kind of foolproof, the whole salve making business. So let me put this on a double boiler and we'll be right back. Now, when we're done here, we're gonna put them into, ideally, half-pint jars or something similar. I have 9 million canning jars, but I just went down to the basement to get a couple of half pints, and there's this giant heavy box on top of all the bins that are down there, and my jars are at the bottom. So we're just gonna use this one, but I can always take this and remelt it once I can get to those jars and you know, pour it into separate jars. So, but for today, this is what we're gonna do. Okay, that's all melted. The beeswax, it only took like maybe 2 minutes. So the next thing you want to do to make sure it's where you want it is the spoon test. So for the spoon test, you simply take a spoon and a plate, dip your spoon in there, get some on there, and set it in the fridge for about 5 minutes. Okay, so we're done with the spoon test, and what that is, like you see here, I'll bring it up to you, show it to you, but you put some salve on a spoon and put it in the refrigerator and let it sit up. And then when you take it out about 5 minutes later, it should be the consistency that you want. So I'll show you this, we'll do it together. So when I touch it here, it's gonna break the seal or whatever, and then we'll see how firm it is. And I think that's perfect because it's gonna set up even more than that. So I would just go with that personally. What does it smell like? Oh, it smells lovely, you guys. That's really nice. We're just gonna pour that right in there. So once I have my half-pint jars, this will make like 3 half-pint jars, which is perfect. So that's it. And then just, you know, put a lid on it, let it store it in a, you know, don't store it on your windowsill. Put it that way. You want it to be kind of out of direct light and in a cool place. And it'll last you a long time, and it's just lovely. A couple parting thoughts. This will last, it'll stay good. You know, it won't spoil, you know, maybe 3 months or so. You could also add some vitamin E to this mixture, and that has like a preservative effect, so it would make it last a little bit longer, maybe more like 6 months. And then the type of oil that you use makes a difference too. So you could look into those things too. But the other thing is, make sure wherever you pick your dandelion flowers that you're picking it in a spot where you know they haven't sprayed chemicals, because the last thing you want to do is make a lovely salve like this only to realize later, oh, I bet they spray there. So just make sure that it's you know, maybe your own property. If you don't spray, then you're safe. So that's it, you guys. I hope you had a great weekend, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.